you got that sexy beast. You're just so sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Or are you Bigfoot, cryptid, supernatural vampires, banshees, Tony and Jago? Oops, there's a Wendigo. Hey, coming after me. Who the fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick with a Loch Ness monster pussy? Baby, sexy beast.
Hello there and welcome back to Sexy Beasts, your friend to the Menagerie Unexplained. Now, normally what we do in the show, as you know, is we rate and review sexy creature, cryptids, monsters, weird things of the occult, and we give them a little rating, and we talk about them fighting, and we go in detail on the research. But you know what? Mark Jago, I have not sat across from you in about 2 months. It's been 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. Yeah,
since we were last doing this.
You're off fluttering around in Edinburgh.
I was pulling the flute off myself and got arrested in Edinburgh. No, that's not what happened. But yeah, it's been a while. So I thought what we do, look, I'm even talking too enthusiastic for how I want this episode to be. I'd love it to be just casual. Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know about you, Jago, but I have a bit of a cold and I want you to feel sorry for me. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think like a tiny little cold is enough. Yeah. Before we recorded this, Tony came upstairs wheezing. He's like, man, sorry, I'm a bit out of breath.
I'm a bit out of breath.
Yeah.
And why did that offend you, Mark Jago?
Because about a month ago, I was walking to work and my lung just popped.
Pop that lung. I'm going to show you how to make your man breathe. I can do better than that. I won't.
Like dirty pop. Justin Timberlake wasn't there to soothe my woes, but yeah,
You're fucking ling.
Yeah. Don't do anything. But
I didn't do anything. No, I meant to say lung. Your lung popped.
Well, it collapsed. It's the full name.
You said pop, so don't correct me.
The full name. How dare you say something that I said?
I just repeated you.
The correct term is a primary spontaneous pneumothorax.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Pneumothorax sounds like a cool dinosaur.
Yeah. It's like, and here we have the pneumothorax.
Oh, Beast Wars.
Yeah. So basically, for pneumothorax there's these things on the top. Really technical here.
Yeah.
There's a thing at the top of your lungs that some people get called blebs. So the head of respiratory care was talking to me. He's like, and he drew a little diagram, and it was like, here's all your blebs. I was like, what's a bleb? And he's like, well, basically it's a bubble at the top of your lung that you get if you grow, like if you're tall. Fucking H is back.
It's fine. You haven't spoken.
It's spoken a while. Yeah, if you're tall, thin, and skinny, you get these things. It's from growth spurts and stuff. Basically, it's like weakening of the top of the lung. It popped when I was walking to work.
Shit.
All the air leaked into my lung, and the pressure difference made my lungs sort of crumple up. Yeah,
like a Coke can.
But apparently I've had it a couple of times. But
I thought when he showed you, look, these are your blebs, and then you'd look really close at the thing, and then it'd smash your head into the thing, making stuff up. That's what I do if I was a doctor.
Yeah, I think that's in the Hippocratic Oath.
It is.
You're allowed one prank per month,
and you have to you inflict violence so that you keep yourself in employment.
Yeah,
come here, and you smash someone's head. Right, let me fix that for you.
As we all know, that most doctors are also serial killers.
It's true. That'd be a good show. And then what? Yeah, and then Mark Jago, how long were you in the fucking hospital?
I was in the hospital for 3.5 weeks.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So basically, I went into the emergency room, and they were like, I went in, I signed up for subscribed to the emergency room, and then they brought me into the back. They did all the tests, like to check blood pressure, oxygen levels, blood tests, whatever like that. And by the way, just to preface the story, I'm terrified. I was terrified of needles.
What's the name of that phobia? You should know that. You normally know those words.
Instalophobia.
Yeah, spot on. Go on.
But I was terrified. I got my blood test, had to turn away and bite onto my own hand because I was so scared of needles.
God.
And then they were like, okay, we'll call you when the doctor's ready to see you. So they sent me back out. Before my arse touched the seat in the waiting room, the doctor ran out and was like, right, come on, we're going to go to get an x-ray for you. I went to get an x-ray, and then they were just talking to me like, hey, we did an x-ray, and did your GP said anything to you? I was like, oh, well, the GP said I might have some indigestion or something like that. And then I realised they were walking me into the resus department.
Fuck.
And I was like, and there's all the red signs, and all the doctors are in their scrubs and gears, and then I was like, so what's going on? I was like, well, basically, yeah, your lungs collapsed. So what we're going to do now is insert a chest tube into you. And so I
a chest tube or a test tube?
I keep saying test tube, and it's like like all these little test tubes of it. Yeah. This won't help your lung, but
we can grow babies on you.
We're making these some sort of hive creature.
Some sort of what's it called? That new Hideo Kojima film.
Oh,
game.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Well,
vibe.
I've watched 30 minutes of that and I didn't even realize it looks like a walking simulator.
It looks insane. We can
But
talk about that later.
Anyway, so the chest tube. So it was this little thing that was called a pig's tails valve.
Right.
So they lay me down and then they were like digging into me with their fingers and they were counting along like my intercostal muscles. It's called.
Jesus, you know so much now about your body.
Man, it's the worst because the internet is the best and the worst thing because I googled everything and what the exact what the worst scenario could be.
What was your percentage of death?
With this pneumothorax, pretty minimal, but it could escalate to something called a tension pneumothorax, which
Right.
is like basically all the pressure in your lung goes out and it sucks your heart over to the other side.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
like
fucking,
a Picasso job.
yeah, it's terrible, and it can like it sucks all the blood from one side of your body to the other because there's all pressure build. But anyway, so they put it in my chest. I was fucking loopy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me loads of like morphine and stuff. But the cannula in my arm broke while they were giving it to me, so my like wrist or my elbow swelled up purple. Anyway, so they did put it in me, and then they were like, "All right, we're gonna send you up to a ward." So they sent me up to a ward. Now, God love everyone at ward. It was a short stay ward. Like they're all sick, and I appreciate that they're all sick. But my God, I think they literally just chose the loudest people ever to put in one ward.
Really?
I was
In the respiratory ward?
Yeah, no, I just before the respiratory
Right.
ward. This was the short stay ward. So they're all screaming, and like a lot of them were here for like ingrown toenails and mad shit like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they were like screaming, and I was just a bit sort of anxious, and I was in the hospital gown, had no clothes. They wouldn't let anyone see me for ages. And eventually they let people in. I got changed into clothes, and then there's a new thing in hospital, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to check you for what's called MRSA, or like that superbug.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to swab your mouth, cheek, nose, your anus, and your
Mouth, rectum, scrotum, anus.
and your mouth,
Did
anus,
you-
mouth, anus, mouth, anus, rectum, crotch, mark.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
And it's mad how they do your rectum and your anus. They have to swab it twice.
Twice, yeah, because like your anus is in your rectum, but they have to do your
swab.
crotch as well, either side of your crotch.
Oh yeah?
So
That'd be tiddly.
So this nurse comes in, and he's this lad nurse, and he's from the country, and he's the fucking soundest lad ever. He's just like,
Cool.
"What's the crack? How are you?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm grand." And he's talking
Wow.
like, "Oh, he's gone, whatever." And then he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna send in a nurse to swab your crotch and your anus." And I was like, to be honest, I was in such like a weird mood. I was like, so I just didn't care what happened. I was like, "Oh, grand, this lad's gonna swab my anus. That's fucking grand, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
In walks this like lovely old lady, like so old, so nice, and just so sweet.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna run this along your crack now." And I was like, I was trying not to laugh, and then I was trying. Like, do you know those sort of situations where you say like really uncomfortable things to try and break the tension? Like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I was like, "Oh, I won't let my," I said, "I won't let my wife know about this."
So you kind of embodied some 60s Catskills comedian.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, won't tell my wife about this."
Ooh.
Yeah,
Pulling on your tie.
Yeah. Or was it? What's your man from Caddyshack?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney was like, "Oh, won't tell my wife about this." And she's like, "Oh, how long has he been married?"
I
And
want
was
you
like,
to buy me dinner first.
yeah, and I was like, yeah, exactly that sort of thing. I was like, "How long have you been married for?" And then I was like, "I'm not married. I just said that." And then she was like, she went and then she was talking to the sound male nurse. And the sound male nurse, and they were just pointing and looking at me, and I was just sitting there. By the way, I have to.
See that cunt? He's a liar. He's after fucking lying to me. That's what she was saying.
And at the time,
that cunt's after lying to me about his dead wife.
he told me he was a widowed.
Yeah, it did a nasty nick on me.
And at this time, I have like a little valve dangling that looks like a little pig's tail in a glass tube.
Jesus,
and when
does
I
it wheeze?
When I breathe out, it goes. It looks like. Do you know
Oh
what,
my God.
do you know what it looks like? It looks.
They just put that on you for fun.
Yeah,
Let's see what we can stick on this cunt without him saying him.
it looked like the neck of a whoopee cushion.
Whoopee cushion, yeah.
Yeah, and they said, "All right, we'll get this out of you. You'll be going home tomorrow. You'll be back on work on Monday." So this was on Thursday, and I was like, "Yeah, fine, for whatever." So they sat me down, and then I got really like this nurse called Vinny. She was just a lovely nurse. I think she was telling me she's from India. She came over here, and she was literally just, she came in, she hated everyone else in the ward. I'm gonna say this now, but the nurses were just like the
Fair.
best person ever, or best people ever. And she came in, she'd chat to me for ages. She'd close the curtains, pretend she was doing some sort of blood test on me, and just talk to me for ages because she knew I was nervous. And she had to keep, I had to keep getting cannulas, you know, the lines in.
Yeah.
I had to get 4 or 5 of them. And then by the end, I'm not scared of needles now, by the way.
Mm.
And then they took it out, and they said, all right, we'll give you 24 hours, just normal, and we'll see how it is. I was ready to go. I packed up. I put my shoes on. I was ready to go at the end of 24 hours. The doctor comes rushing in and just goes, oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, you're going to have to go back, and your lungs collapsed again. It's actually gotten worse.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like really stressed. I was like, what the fuck? So then I was like, okay, I'll go back to sleep and yada, yada, yada. And then this was about like 8 o'clock at night. Visitors were coming in to visit people, obviously. And 2 surgeons walk in, and they're like, okay, we're just going to do a chest tube into you now. And I was like, okay, same as last time. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty intense. And then 2 more nurses came in, and then an orderly came in. And so one of the nurses hooked up a new cannula, pumped me full of morphine, and I was like, this isn't so bad. And they injected local anesthetic into me, and I was like, this isn't so bad. And then they told me to grab the side of the bed, turn over, and like grab like on my side is facing up in the air. And then they cut into me, and I couldn't feel anything. And then the pressure started, so you could feel like the needle was the size of like a thick pen.
Oh my God.
And you can feel it popping as it goes through your... This is actually disgusting. This should be a freak encounter.
Yeah.
As it goes through each layer of muscle, and you can feel your...
So you got skin, muscle, skin, fat, muscle.
And you can feel them spreading apart your rib.
I
know I'm not exaggerating. This is the most unimaginable pain I've ever felt in my life. And it was... I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, there was tears pumping out my eyes.
Oh, I'd say so.
And I was actually asking them to stop. Like, please stop. Like, it was such an... like... And then... It was over. I'd say it was a good 15 minutes a max. And then the doctors got to shake my hand, and I was like, I fucking hate you lads. And
give you Paul Hollywood.
Yeah, your man, his name was Hugh. He was actually such a sound lad, a doctor in the end. But I was looking at him, and he was like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. Like, and then he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, I haven't done many of them. I was like,
oh fuck, they shouldn't have fucking Jesus.
He was a good lad. But then, all right, so I'm like physically and mentally drained from this. They open the curtains, and the fucking whole room is full of visitors, and there's no one there to see me because I was getting it done or whatever. And I'm there, I'm topless, there's blood pumping all over the bed, and I'm just there. And then a lad across me, some mad out Dublin lad, goes, "Oh, that sounded a bit rough, didn't it?" and all his bloody like visitors started howling and laughter, like, haha. And I'm there, fucking just wet,
fucking.
But
having been ravaged.
Yeah, but then this doctor comes in and goes, "Oh, this is the guy who's getting the thoracic chest tube in. Oh, I missed it. Oh, darn." And then the nurse just like turned to the doctor and was like, "Will you just please leave?" Like,
oh, fucking hell.
So anyway, that's horrible. But the worst thing was,
what?
It was stuck to suction, and the suction was like 5 feet away on the wall. So I couldn't move for 5 days out of...
literally tethered to the wall.
Literally tethered to the wall. And they gave me like tablets because I was on loads of opiates, which are fucking unreal, by the way. Like, I know there's a huge crisis in America about the opiates, but like...
Yeah, but we can't buy them over the counter here, so
yeah,
happy days.
That's fair enough, yeah. But... And they give me loads of tablets to unconstipate me. This is actually really gross. Sorry, I'm just like...
Unconstipate you?
So yeah, the opioids make you so constipated, like crazy constipated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they give you loads of tablets. And it was about 2 days into it, and I hadn't shit in 2 days. And then they were like, all right, it's visiting time, everyone's visitors here. And all my visitors turned up, and then I was like, oh my God, 2 days worth of shit is going to come out of me right now. And by the way, I can't move.
Yeah.
So I had to go for shit. And the room is full of people. I'd say there's about 30 people in the room.
No
And I had to call the nurse and say out loud, "Nurse, can I have a commode?" And she brings over a commode. And I just closed
a bigger commode. A bigger commode.
I need more. I need Mark Kermode. And and so now I have no fear. I'm the man with no fear.
Fucking hell. So you've got overcoming fear, shitting in public, needles, being held down and having your lung fucking inserted with a massive needle.
Yeah.
Isolation's another one, probably.
Isolation, yeah, you start to go a bit mad. Luckily, I had my tablet and I'd watched everything on Netflix. And you know, best Netflix show by far, like, and this is slept on, and not many people have known it. Call the Midwife.
Call the Midwife.
Yeah, it's absolutely like I know it's terrible, but I want to live back in 1950s East End London. Popular.
Really?
I love it. I watched all I watched 5 seasons in the hospital. And,
Wow.
and yeah, because I was there, like the pain was so intense because it's a big like rubbery tube in your chest and you
Yeah.
can't move. So they give you insane amount of painkillers. Like, now this is the first chest tube or second chest tube. So after they took that out, it collapsed again. They were like, oh, whoops. So respiratory turned to me and they're like, listen, nothing more we can do. We're going to send the big boys in. So they send in the cardiothoracic, which are the people who operate on heart and lungs.
Right, yeah.
And these were no nonsense, absolute fucking like mavericks. They were Top Gun.
Yeah.
Her name's Joanne. I don't know her second name was. She walks in and she's a nice like surgeon. She's in her blue gear and she's like, well, we have a choice here. We knock you out, do another chest tube, another 5 days. And I was like, what's the chance of it happening again? She says, pretty big. She's like, or what we do is we do an operation on you, cut you open in 3 places, like keyhole surgery.
Yeah.
And then same thing, you be on chest tube, but the chances of it happening again are pretty slim. So I was like, you were there actually, were you?
Yeah, I was there when you got told.
Yeah. So the next day, the head of cardiothoracic, Mr. Ryan, comes in, which I never understand. So you study for so long to become a medical doctor.
Yep.
And then the next step up from a medical doctor is a Mr.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like you're Mr. if you're a layman, then doctor, and then Mr. But you have to be called Mr. So they're like Mr. Ryan to him.
Ooh.
Mr. Ryan. But he walks in.
Maybe Mr. stands for something else when you're that high.
Master race.
Yeah. But also, I found funny, Jago, when I was sitting there with you and the doctor came in and explained that you were going to be getting surgery and explained all what the surgery was and everything like that, and then said, now, you're going to be in a tremendous amount of pain, but you'll be getting a morphine drip.
Yeah.
And then she left, and you were like, did you hear that, man? I'm getting morphine. And I'm like, yeah, because she just said that you're going to be in intense pain.
But yeah, she's great. She used to check with me every day. Well, I think she had to be fair. I don't think she was like wanted to be friends with me or anything in the hospital.
No, she was fairly no nonsense.
But anyway, Mr. Ryan walked in and
Mr. Ryan is so hot.
he was this tall, sort of foppish D4 lad, and he was like, he's about like 50, 60, and he walks in and he's like, all right, yeah, we're just gonna do a pleurectomy and a bulectomy and on a thoracic fats, video assisted thoracic, and he said it to me, and then
you said, English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I literally turned to him and I was like, sorry, what's that mean? And he's like, literally, we'll just cut 3 holes in you. You might bleed to death. We might pierce your heart. Like, he went on this list of the worst case scenario.
Yeah, they have to cover that, don't
yeah,
they?
and like, I literally, he took out his signature and was like, sign that for me. And I was like, well, what's the worst that can happen? He's like, oh, we can cut through all your nerves on your on your right hand side, and you won't be able to feel anything for years.
Well, I presume that anything that's a potential risk of surgery is something that has happened before in a surgery in medicine.
Yeah, I think they literally add it to the end of it if something really random happens or whatever. But listen, this has been going on for 23 minutes. So anyway, they do the operation. I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. Have the morphine.
Yep.
Like they said to me before I went in, like, you'll have a pack which is patient assisted pack, something like that. Patient anesthesia control or something like that, and a analgesic. It's pronounced analgesic, and so they give it to you, and they're like, just press it as many times as you want.
Right.
And I was like,
this is the morphine.
Yeah, morphine. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna press that at all. Like, I'm just a big tough man.
Yeah.
Woke up and like from every 5 minutes, and it makes this really cool like video game sound.
Yeah.
Do you there when I was pressing it? It's like and
Yeah.
like pressing it, and then I'm telling you, like, I fell asleep and I just missed pressing it, and I woke up and I was like, I had to scramble for it and press it loads of times.
Oh wow!
But anyway, so after 4 or 5 days, they took it out, and that was like the waiting was agonizing that day to see. I had so many like little panic attacks, being like, oh, it's back! Oh my god, I can fucking feel it back! And they did like 4 or 5 X-rays to check on it, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. Send you off. Put your slippers on. You're going home. And, like, out the door on the Sunday night. Out the door. Went to the pharmacy downstairs. Got like €110 worth of medicine.
Jesus.
All painkillers.
Wow.
And now, yeah, I'm here.
Are you still on any painkillers?
I am, yeah.
Give me them. Give me what you got.
No, they're not good ones. They actually give me like a fucking huge box of paracetamol tablets as well.
Shit.
But basically, I have the lung capacity of like a really old man now. So when I can't walk places too far. Going upstairs is killer. They said they give me this little tube thing. Did I show you that? Yeah. So it's a little tube with 3 balls at the end, and when you blow or suck into it, the balls will move, and it tells you how wide your lungs are.
Well, look, if you want something proper I can give you something so I can make the balls move. If you want to get better.
If I get better, to suck my balls.
I didn't say that.
If you wanna get balls.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be messing around with that plastic thing. I've got a different instrument that you can suck that
It's
you move
spit
the
on it.
balls.
Oh, a nice flute, is it?
Flouting, yeah.
Flouting. But anyway, modern medicine is actually crazy. Like, a lot of people give a stick to like the emergency rooms and waiting rooms,
Mm-hmm.
but if they know that you're really sick,
Mm-hmm.
they will move the fucking heaven and earth for you. Like,
Yeah.
there was a nurse, and this day I was fucking at my lowest. I'd got I think 6 or 7 blood tests that day, and it was about less than that. It was about 4 or 5, sorry. And I'd gotten, like, they had to keep changing cannulas. It was just after my operation, and my cannula like loosened, and I had to change it. And I was like, I literally cannot do any more blood tests. I was really like, I was getting in my head, and I was like, I can't do any more. But like, and it's weird that your body reacts to it. Like, my veins started, what they call shy veins. Like, my veins all started to like sort of, my skin became really. I can't even explain it, but my skin,
they kind of disappear from under the surface.
yeah, exactly. So they sort of shrink in. It was a lot due to dehydration. Your body makes you dehydrate and shit. And this nurse came in, and she was like talking to me, and she was like, I'm 20 years experience in like neonatal care, like baby care and stuff like that. And she has to put loads of needles in babies, and that's the fucking worst. And as she was talking to me, she was just like rubbing my arm, looking for a vein and something like that. And then she just said, "Oh, we're done now." And I was like, I looked down, and she had actually put cannula in without me paying attention.
Wow.
And I was like, fucking, the nurses are unreal. Like,
Wow. That's tip top.
yeah. I made a lot of friends, like, and they're all from all over the country. There's a guy from like Carlow who was like actually born in England in the ward. It was really nice. The last day this woman came in, and I think she was faking it, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah. And then she kept asking the nurse to scratch her back. Like, she pressed the emergency button, and the nurses would run around the corner.
Ah,
and
fuck
ask to
that.
scratch her back.
Don't be exploiting that shit. Well, Jago, look, one question.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of a new appreciation for your freedom and your life and your health?
I wouldn't say I was like not confident before. Like, I talk a lot of shit, but there's times I get really nervous about things.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I've started walking up to people and randomly talking to them on the street, which is kind of weird. Like, it's just like, so someone was buying something the other day.
My scars?
No, I was buying some Tesco, and then I was like, oh, they're really nice or something. And then as I walked away, I was like, that's kind of weird. But then I was like, why was it weird? It's the humor interaction.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was because I was like, literally, I wasn't quarantined. Like, I could talk to the people beside me and stuff like that. But I was just so isolated that the only person I could talk.
Completely out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. But now, like, after the chest tube, I've lost a lot of fear, and there is, like, every so often, like, I woke up the other night and I thought I had my lung collapse, and I stood up and I was just in panic sweat, and I just took a deep breath, and I was like, your lungs not collapse. You know what a lung collapse feels like. You're not doing. It's not happening to you. So I sat down, and it gives you more tools to deal with. If you've been in a huge accident, it gives you more tools to. Don't sweat the small stuff, man.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it all boils down to.
That's great, man. Well, you know what? It scared the shit out of me. I ran straight out of your ward and bought myself some fucking health insurance because it scared the fucking shit out of me.
That's the thing as well. Health insurance, lads.
Yep.
The thing is, because I'm a non-smoker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm relatively healthy. Like, I had
You're active
walk around everywhere. I've got a very fast walk, apparently.
You do far too fast.
Not anymore though. I'm a bit old man shuffle.
Sure.
Yeah. So go. And I want to say one thing. Tony put up something saying, send lovely message to Jago, and some of them were obviously like, he has a shit dick and like
Shit dick.
a
Yeah.
shit dick, and he's Tony's. What was it? Tony's sidekick.
Tony's mascot.
Yeah, that was cheers for that, lad.
Yeah.
But
It's always the shit ones that stand out.
some of the messages I got were so nice.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for sending in your lovely messages.
People I didn't really know actually that messaged me saying, like, listen, I got offer to send like a care package from Canada. That was lovely. A nurse got in touch with me. Was saying like, how are you getting on, and sort of explained the situation. She knew what she was talking about. But it actually touched me a little. I was like, we're two lads who talk shit about monsters on the internet, but
hey, we're a community. Hey, we're family.
yeah. And to celebrate that, when I'm 100% better, we'll be holding a little house party for some
Big style. So this is the big announcement. We are having the Sexy Beast Gaff party.
Yeah.
In the Sexy Beast Gaff. And we're going to be putting tickets on sale in a couple of weeks' time from when you hear this. We just need to iron out a couple of things. But I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a big old piss up.
It's going to be, we've done podcast shows before and they're good. But what we like is sort of a more interaction between the people. So we're going to be on your level. It's going to be like, it's going to be a house party. It's going to be, excuse me, it's going to be BYOB.
Yeah.
It's going to be BYOG.
Yeah.
Bring your own gear.
Okay, no, okay.
No, I can't say that. Bring your own beer. It's gonna be a real relaxed affair. We'll obviously be talking about beasts, but there'll be more crowd interaction.
What I'm thinking we should do, Jago, is I think we should have a proper battle for the beasts. I think we have a lot of very samey, big footies lads in there. And I think we need to fucking sort the men from the boys in there and get some of them. So get some of them guys out. I think we need to cull. I think we need to do a wide cull.
Yeah, we killed one of them last season. So
and we have never once had people's involvement in the framing of the Premier Crypt. So I want to have a big whiteboard there with the Premier Crypt, like you see in fucking Top Gear. And I want to get this ranking once and for all. Maybe we should have a fan score where people get to just give a score for the fans, and that could change the Fex.
PHFEC. Yeah. So that was a half an hour talk about my sexy lung.
Yeah.
Tony, you've been up to some stuff.
I was up to some stuff. You are now looking at Tony Cantwell, expert. You know, they say you go to Edinburgh, Jago, you come back fucking bulletproof. Well, call me RoboCop, you cunt. Sorry, got carried away.
Jeez, you put your feet up on the
I
table.
did, yeah.
You got mad into that one. I love that.
I did, yeah. No, I don't think I'm bulletproof, but I tell you, Edinburgh's fun. Edinburgh's fun, and it's a fun slog. So
how many shows did you do day after day?
Well, in total, I did 50 shows
Fucking
in 25 days. So it was like 24 of my own, 22 Dream Gun, and then 2 like kind of comps and stuff like that. Which just shows that you show up, you're kind of part of a compilation of comedians, and then you do 5 minutes, and you're like, "Hey, come to my show, please."
This is what I call Comedy 98.
Yeah, no, this is what that's a comp. Yeah.
All right, let's break it down. What was your highlight? Your biggest moment?
My biggest moment. I had a really good. Probably the last Saturday show was a sold out one, and then I had a load of pals coming over from Dublin and London, which was nice. And by then that was like the second last one I had done, so I'd kind of like got my reps in, so I knew exactly the show. It was tight. I was able to talk to people, because that's the thing. If I went there, not to, I don't like to completely reveal too much of my insecurities when it comes to performing in comedy, but when I don't, before going there, I don't think I connected as much. I think I tried to be like, right, there's a stage. I just get to go up there and I just get to do the thing, and that's, I do the show, not necessarily knowing that there's a connection there, that you talk to people and that people communicate their enjoyment with their laughs and their ums and their ahs and things that go along with that. So like without that connection, people are sitting there and they may as well be at the cinema. And if it's a film they're not enjoying, they're going to be fucking talking through the whole thing. But if you make the connection, even if it's something, they're going to enjoy it more, but even if it's something they don't enjoy, they're probably not going to fucking talk the whole thing. Because I don't get heckled, but I get some people being like, did you see your man there? And they're like, having a full-blown conversation. And there is no cool way of being, excuse me.
Yeah, can you stop doing that? Yeah, please.
Stop. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking substitute Irish teacher right now.
I always followed a lot of people on, a lot of comedians on Twitter. And some of the stories I was hearing of, like, 2 drunk lads had nowhere to go, so they bought tickets to like a show and fell asleep like in front of the. Yeah.
I had 4 drunk guys, and they were actually turned out to be good crack, which is not a fucking thing I'd even believe. I'd say, like, normally I'm like, anyone I thought who wasn't listening or was a bit drunk or inebriated or up for banter, I'd think, right, this is going to completely throw me off, and I'm going to turn into an actual bottle of chilled water live on stage because I'm going to be so nervous. But these lads are great crack. But I was asking them, like, what would you call a frigid in Scotland? Someone who hasn't kissed anyone before. And they were like, oh yeah, we've a word for that, wanker. And I was like, but that's sort of like crack, they can fucking be shouting, and then, like, you can just, then you have fucking stories you can kind of go off the back of that, so it was tremendous fun.
Because you've been called wanker a lot.
I've been called wanker quite a lot.
And now, that was your highlight. What was the lowest moment?
The lowest moment, well, I had a show where it was like 4 people, and there was like literally like a mum and a dad and 2 kids.
Because your show's pretty blue.
It's kind of blue. It lost a lot of its blueness throughout the run, because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I kind of believe when you're crafting a joke, right, that it's like sperm trying to impregnate an egg, right? Yeah. And there's multi layers to it, right? At the center of that egg right, is a gorgeous, perfectly worded, crafted, clean, gorgeous joke that you just think, that is fucking gas. On the outer crust, the very outer crust, is racist jokes, kind of like fat shaming jokes, like quick, easy jokes. On the inner core of that is like inappropriate kind of sex jokes. You know, in the inner core of that is like the immersion, flat 7-Up and mammy jokes, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on how I kind of visualize it. It depends how far the sperm can fight before it gives up and dies, right? If it fights all the way to the egg, then it's going to come with a created joke. Most people stop at sex and farts and shit, and so do I. But I kind of found, after doing it multiple times, that's just kind of a bit of a crutch, and you can kind of, you can get away with not doing that. Now, I find some of the funniest stuff funny, so I'm still going to talk about fucking how much I want to ride the absolute hoop off Nala the lion.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not. That's not going anywhere.
That's your brand.
That's my brand. I'm a cat
fucker.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, I can say it. So there was a ma and a dad and 2 kids, and literally, like, the dad had his fucking arms folded, feet up on the stage.
On the stage, that's
because he
pure.
was up there, and he was like, Go on, monkey, make me laugh. And then there was a bit in the show where I put ham on my face, and one of the kids left.
You told me about that, yeah. And she left. She came back though, didn't she?
She did come back, and I was kind of like, you could have said something, you know. I'm just going to go to the loo. But then I thought, no, wait, you don't want to interrupt the show saying, hey, I'm going, fucking having a piss.
Yeah. But it's for them, like, so did you, like...
You just have to talk to them.
Yeah, you had to talk to them, yeah.
You can't just be like, right, I'm going to go into, hey, this is my routine, and hey, hey, guys, do you ever get the way? You can't just be doing that. You have to be like,
who's a frigid here?
Who's a frigid? You are, sir. You little kid, your son is, sir.
Your little son's a frigid.
Your little son's a frigid. Although that is still, frigid is still the funniest thing to call someone in like the 30s. You know, be like, here, you know, your man's still a fucking frigid. Like.
That's pretty funny. Anyway, for non-Irish listeners, frigid is someone who hasn't kissed anyone before.
I already said that.
Oh.
No, maybe I didn't.
I'm trying to be more inclusive. That's my new year resolution. Be more inclusive to...
It's chat to people in Tesco who are scared and be more inclusive.
Man, I said that as a good thing, and it is a good thing. I think we need more human interaction.
I 100% agree.
I would usually just be the person on the bus with my phone down, but now I'm going to be the person be like, look, here, would you like a little souk?
Stop it. Don't be going dirty Michael on anyone.
Yeah.
No, well, I wouldn't go chatting to anyone on the bus. I think outside of that, well, look, do what you do. I think it's great.
No, I mean, like, if there's a reason to chat to someone, I'm not going to randomly walk up to someone and be like, because that is like fucking nuts. I think if people just like talk to you for no reason whatsoever. But if someone is like in a shop and they have Battenberg cake in one hand and then like Swiss roll in the other, I'd be like, yeah, Battenberg, that me up, baby.
Okay, well, don't do that either.
I wouldn't do that either. Yeah, I'd be like Swiss roll.
Say, get the Swiss roll.
Yeah,
Clim.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think we should talk to more people. I found myself kind of turning into my dad a little bit. You talk, your dad's like chatting to like the waiter or the waitress or whatever, and like give him the chat, or hands back a plate that's empty. Clearly, he's been like, wiped it with a bit of bread, gotten all the juices out of it. Like, how was it? Oh, shite.
Yeah, it's terrible. I want a refund.
Refund.
No, interestingly, I got a taxi.
I love chatting to people now.
I was in a taxi, right, and I was I put my hand out for a taxi and there was no taxi stopping. Then I hear some lad shouting and he grabs me by the shoulder and he's like, here, there's a taxi for you. I was going to take it, but you can take it. And I was like, that's really nice. And he sends him in and the taxi's driver, he's a bleeding mad bastard. That's my brother-in-law. And I was like, oh, grand, fair play to him for giving me a taxi. And he's like, yeah, I was going to drop him back with Temple Oak, but he decided to send you in it. And I was like, that's bad. And then it was a lovely day, and he's like, it's a bleeding scorcher. And he goes, yeah, do you ever hear Mick Leach? And I was like, sorry, who's that? And she's like, oh, that was the guy who put you in the taxi. I was like, he's one of Shamrock Rovers' #1 top scorers in the 70s.
What?
And then he played for Ireland for ages as well.
No way.
And we got talking about football and how my dad likes football, and I don't really like that football and stuff. And me and the taxi driver had a chat, and he pulled over when I was at my destination, and we talked for another 5 minutes. And like before I would operation, I would have just been like, yeah, that's great, mate. Cheers for that. Like, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he was a real sort of... It's nice to connect to people.
Well, do you know what, Mark Jago? I think you have your book there, you have your pen. I think you should get journaling. I think you should remember your state now as being appreciative and grateful and wanting to interact with people. Because sometimes you can see, habits can make you seep back into whatever.
Oh,
but you're
man.
changing shit up. Like you moved out of your gaff now.
Yeah.
Things changing up.
Saving up to buy a house.
Saving up to buy a house. So there's a fucking, you have new habits fucking on the reg, and
Yeah.
you should keep it up. It's great.
I haven't been in work for about a month and a half.
Yeah, happy days.
Yeah,
Very good.
Fucking
Very
Lady
good.
Leisure still get paid every Friday.
Oh God. Well, should you be saying? By the way, we're doing this in Jago's bed. By the way.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
We're recording this in Jago's bed. He's still okay. I'm not touching you. Stop it.
Yeah, that was a little cathartic fart.
There you
Of-
are now. That's a recap. That's what we've been up to. Might not have always been funny, but now you fucking know.
Yeah.
Some people just want to hear a bit more about us and
Yeah.
about the inner workings of the medical industry.
Yeah, I went on for 23 minutes of talking about my lungs.
Hey, you're fucking well entitled to it, man.
Keep an eye out because we're going to be discussing more about the Sexy Beast.
Sexy Beast Gaff Party.
Yeah. It's not going to be that many seats, so it's going to be in our office.
In our offices. It's going
Yeah.
to be very limited seats, but it's going to be fucking tremendous crack.
Yeah.
Mark Jago, I love you.
I love you, Tony, and I love our listeners.
And I love our listeners, and thank you so much again for reaching out to Jago. We really do appreciate with our beautiful community that we have. And tune in next week where we get back Sister Act 2 in the Habit and have a look at our sexy little premiere crypt.
Check out Call the Midwife because there's loads of sisters in that as well.
Okay, perfect. And Jago, do you have maybe a nice proverb that you can make up off the top of your head? to
Make
close
off the top of
us
my head. When your lungs are down, look,
out?
don't frown.
Yeah.
You got that sexy beast. You're just so sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Or are you Bigfoot, cryptid, supernatural vampires, banshees, Tony and Jago? Oops, there's that Wendigo. Hey, coming after me. Who the fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick and a Loch Ness monster pussy? Bay sexy beast.
This has been a Pod Stuff Headcast Network.